So our project is done. Now we see how we document it. Okay. The documentation obviously talks about all the aspects starting from where did you get the idea from, how did you perceive it, how do you think this is going to be helping the society? So it should be aligning to my SDG goals also, which one, all that also it has to be mentioned, and then the entire methodology, everything. Okay, so there's this little detailed stuff. Let's move on to it. Okay. Now, let me see the documentation. This is not the one. This is the one. Actually, I tried and tested multiple data sets, but certain things even I was not able to understand, all the parameters. Like for the data science one, where there are no measures, you have the CSV file with the data. Now, the biology students might understand it, but there were certain terms which I could not. So I need to first be sure about it myself, then only I'm going to give it to you. Okay, so this is how we start. Like this kind of a page is going to be there for your practical file also. So you have class 12 AI practical file. When you do it for the practical file, here it is project report. And then your school name can be there. And then at the end, at the left side, your name will be there because practical file is individual. It is not in a team. So your individual name will be there. That should be the first page. Okay. Here I'm talking about three members. You will decide among yourself how do you want to work. And this is how the first page is going to look like. Simple and straight. Okay. Now moving further comes the next part of it. Of course, the usual ones, you've done it for your other subjects also. The certificate that yes, it has been done by the student himself. And then there's an acknowledgement saying, oh, I'm so thankful to the teacher and all that. Okay, with your name and class and section, roll number, all that. Board roll number, of course. Then comes the table of contents. See, this is how I have prepared it. You may change it according to your, if you feel that I want to add something to this, I don't want it like this, that's your wish. But this is a basic structure which we need. And what does it talk about? It talks about the introduction of the overall project. Then we give a proper problem statement that what is the problem which you are trying to cater. Okay? So that is the problem statement. We have given a detailed explanation about what situation led you to making this project. So that's the second part of it. The third part, we have included the stakeholders who all are the people involved in this particular setup. SDG involved. Then comes the basic objectives, system requirements. Methodology is going to talk about the entire setup of orange data mining. Data set क्या है आपके पास and orange data mining का workflow का सारा तो सब कुछ उसके अंदर ही जाएगा. Explanation of orange data mining. Then comes the workflow. So this is the place where you're going to put all your screenshots step by step. Then, of course, because we are doing it in a very limited scope, there has to be a future scope to it. I may add it to different medical data. We may do this, we may do that. So there's always a future scope, how well you want to work with it further. And then there's a bibliography. Okay. Let's move on further. The next page is the introduction. Here, I've just basically discussed about what is the lung cancer meaning, how is it affecting globally, how exactly the lung cancer detection is done in the manual scenario. So CT scans are being done, and then based on those images, the radiologists and the doctors are able to diagnose it, which has problem like so many hundreds of scans if the person is doing, so fatigue is involved, inter-observer variability is involved, opinions may change, subjectivity to other factors are also there. So that is why this project introduces an AI-based lung cancer detection system developed using the orange data mining. Okay. Of course, it involves deep learning and computer vision in order to do it. Now we move on to the problem in detail. उसी चीज को explain किया है हमने यहाँ पे कि challenges of human error is there, early stage detection gap. It might have, it might miss. So those things are there. Huge volume of data for the doctor and the radiologist to see. So that processing time is there. Takes time. So many patients are increasing day by day. So that is what it is, complexity. This is just too much of things put in, just not much of my writing skills. It has been picked up by, I mean, I have modified it with the help of ChatGPT also. But yes, the idea behind it is the way we have to do it. Okay, you may change these things, it's your wish. Then comes the actual problem statement. Current lung cancer diagnosis methods rely heavily on manual analysis of scans by radiologists, which can be time consuming, prone to human error, and may miss early stage tumors. This can lead to delayed diagnosis and hinder the effectiveness of treatment options. That is my major problem statement. The stakeholders involved are patients, healthcare professionals, researchers, policymakers. Everybody will be affected by the thing. SDG is goal number 3, which is talking about healthy lives and promote well-being for all at all ages. That is my SDG goal 3. So by doing an early detection and getting the accuracy in the lung cancer diagnosis, it is contributing to that goal. So objectives of the project is basically that I'm trying to reduce the number of false negatives, जिसमें कि वो miss out ना हो जाए. ठीक है? Machine should be able to do it. But then again, of course, the training data has to be huge. जितना अच्छा वो trained होगा, उतना अच्छा result होगा. Then we have the hardware requirements. It goes as it is. As such, there is nothing to change. Because this becomes the minimum set of requirements required for your project to run. Then comes the methodology. So in the methodology I'm saying about data collection. I've taken the lung cancer image classification data set. It contains thousands of, it's not thousands though. It contains huge set of, I should not write thousands. It contains a huge set of. Actually, getting the data, proper data for your analysis is also a job. A huge set of. It took a lot of time arranging that, train data, test data, पूरा उसको arrange करने में भी बहुत time लगता है. Microscopic images or clinical features labeled by the experts. Now, AI used this supervised learning algorithm. So here I'm saying, okay, here you will put add-on which all we have used. Like we are talking about logistic regression, SVM, and the third one we used was free. I think so. But it didn't give me a very good result. So you may take the other ones. Random forest के साथ एक बार try कर सकते हो. So that is what you'll mention here. Training testing का 80-20 we have kept. And evaluation we have our usual test and score के अंदर जो हमारा classification के अंदर जो हम use करते हैं. Which is my precision and recall accuracy. That we have given him an idea. Then comes the implementation. So there I've explained a little bit of orange data mining tool with the widgets which we have used, key widgets. Again, these things remain same. Model training. Here also I have given logistic, random and SVM. So you may change it according to the ones you want. एक बार random के साथ भी try कर लेना if you're getting something better. Though I think SVM gives you the best. Then performance evaluation and your results. The entire setup has been explained well in this part. And then I move on to the actual execution. So orange workflow screenshots should be here. The way you've done it for your practical file, step by step, हर एक step का, you will take the screenshot explaining the thing. And उसका input क्या जा रहा है, output क्या जा रहा है, जिस तरीके से you've done it in the file, that's absolutely fine. So this comes. And then of course is the future scope. This is I think almost a direct pickup. I've just added one point which I found was, which I thought was required from the cookbook itself. I've taken certain material from the cookbook itself because this topic is there. Though there, they are not talking about the orange data mining tool, so that's a new thing we have done. They are talking about the uh, Python code itself. Okay. So integrating the electronic health records with the patient data management thing so as to improve the healthcare. You can link this data output to your healthcare record systems. Then you may combine the CT scans with the patient's clinical history. Even that helps, smoking habits, age, genetics. उससे और ज्यादा आपको प्रिडिक्शन में accuracy मिलेगा. So that can be done. That along with this, so it can be a combination of two modules then. I mean, two more domains then. That you'll have the CV2 and you'll have the data science also involved there. कि डेटा और उसको सिर्फ पिक्चर्स ही नहीं, सिर्फ विजन वाला डेटा ही नहीं, you'll give them other data of the analyst. So that is something which I found was a very good, I mean, very good aspect to it for the future scope. And then you talk about another important thing, deploying the model on the portable devices so that the doctors in rural areas can get instant screening even without high-end service. So that is also something which, if can be done further on this, that will be excellent. So, Staraka, if you want to add few things, subtract few things, that is again your wish. Then you need to mention the bibliography, the reference sets. You've taken the data from GitHub, you've referred to even ChatGPT certain times. Then you refer to honest data mining documentation, maybe what all references you want to mention here. That should be done because we have taken the data from there. Okay, that is how this whole report is to be done. Starting from the basic introduction to problem statement to the SDG involved, stakeholders, hardware, software requirements, the objectives of the project. Then you have the methodology where I explain the data as well as the orange data mining workflow also, followed by. So this is your main set of steps which you have to do for this. Is it fine? I'll share this document with you and you can actually work on it to get the whole thing ready. Great. And now you have to decide that which team works on this part. Or you may, kind of yourself work on the second set of data. Or give me 1 day's time. I will work on a second set and give it to you. Well, all 6 cannot work on the same project. 3 people can do it. Okay, so one set of students, decide amongst yourself. I really don't want to interfere in that. Based on this, you want to work on something new, your wish. No problem. ठीक है, अदरवाइज इसी तरह का कुछ दूसरा डेटा सेट मैं लेके आई ट्राई टू गेट द थिंग रेडी एंड हैंड ओवर, बट दिस इज द होल सेटअप व्हिच यू हैव टू create. You can also think over any specific set and work on it. Easy to find. Understood. Any queries?